Enter the presence of faith with 11:11, the Jesus miracles now where impossible situations turn into testimonies. Like and subscribe today. There are times when heaven allows a message to find a person at the exact moment their soul is tired, their faith is stretched, and their spirit is quietly asking God, "When will my turn come?" If that is you, then hear this with all the seriousness and tenderness it carries. Congratulations. Not because everything has already appeared in your hands, not because every battle has ended overnight, and not because every prayer has already been answered in visible form, but because something has shifted in the unseen. Archangel Michael says your season is about to change. That means the chapter you have been crying in will not last forever. The weight you have been carrying is not your final identity. The waiting you have endured has not been wasted. God has seen every tear, heard every midnight prayer, counted every moment of endurance, and now a message of heavenly encouragement is being released over your life. Audience, have you been feeling lately that something is changing around you, even though you cannot fully explain it yet? The word congratulations carries a meaning that many people miss. It is not only a celebration after victory. Sometimes in the spirit it is an announcement before manifestation. It is heaven's way of saying, prepare your heart, because what you have suffered through is not the end of your story. Many people wait until they see the blessing before they believe something is happening, but faith often receives the announcement before the evidence. That is why this message is important. It is not just trying to excite your emotions, it is trying to awaken your expectation. God often sends a word before the door opens. He often sends reassurance before the burden lifts. He often sends a sign before the shift appears in natural circumstances. So if your life still looks unfinished, do not assume nothing is moving. Sometimes what heaven announces takes time to appear on earth, but that does not make it less real. Audience, have you been waiting for visible proof while God has already been moving in invisible ways? When this message says your season is about to change, it means the environment of your life is no longer permitted to remain the same forever. A season is more than a period of time. A season is an atmosphere. It is a pattern. It is a spiritual climate. Some seasons are marked by testing, where your faith is stretched and your patience is refined. Some seasons are marked by loss, where things fall away and you do not understand why. Some seasons are marked by hidden growth, where you cannot yet see fruit, but roots are forming beneath the surface. And then there are seasons of release, restoration, and reward, where what has been planted in pain begins to emerge in power. This message suggests that for someone watching, the old season is reaching its limit. The delay has not been endless. The silence has not been permanent. The pressure has not been meaningless. God has been shaping you, preparing you, strengthening you, and bringing you toward a moment of divine transition. Audience, what kind of season have you been living through lately? One of delay, one of pain, one of learning, or one of hidden preparation? Archangel Michael, in the language of spiritual symbolism, represents protection, strength, warfare, courage, and the defense of what belongs to God. So when a message comes in that tone, it carries the feeling that the battles surrounding you have not gone unnoticed. Some of you have been fighting wars that nobody sees. You have been smiling in public and breaking in private. You have been trying to stay hopeful while your mind has been under attack. You have been dealing with discouragement, opposition, fear, setbacks, rejection, or confusion, and there were moments when you wondered whether God had forgotten you. But this message is a reminder that the spiritual battle around your life is not greater than the power of God over your life. You may have felt surrounded, but you were not abandoned. You may have felt weak, but you were not defenseless. You may have felt delayed, but you were not denied. Audience, have you been carrying an invisible battle that no one around you truly understands? There are people watching this right now who have almost given up on expecting good news. Life has disappointed you so many times that you learned how to survive without celebration. You learned how to lower your expectations so heartbreak would hurt less. You learned how to say, maybe it's not for me, because hoping began to feel dangerous. But hear this clearly. Disappointment may have trained your emotions, but it does not define God's ability. The Lord is not limited by your last failure, your last rejection, your last closed door, your last betrayal, or your last season of pain. What did not work before is not proof that nothing will work now. What fell apart in one chapter is not evidence that every chapter will end the same way. Heaven is saying congratulations because something that once looked delayed is now approaching its appointed moment. Audience, have you been protecting your heart from disappointment so strongly that you have also stopped expecting God to surprise you? This script also carries a deeper meaning. Sometimes the greatest change is not what happens around you first, but what happens within you. Before God changes the outer conditions of a person's life, He often changes their inner posture. He teaches them how to endure. He teaches them how to trust. He teaches them how to stand when answers are slow. He teaches them how to let go of pride, fear, bitterness, control, and false security. Why? Because a new season requires a renewed spirit. If the blessing arrived too early, it might be mishandled. If the door opened too soon, it might lead you into pride instead of gratitude. If the increase came before the healing, it could magnify your pain instead of your peace. So if your season is changing, it may be because God has been doing a hidden work inside you. The same person who entered the old season is not the same person coming out of it. Audience, how has your struggle changed you? Has it made you bitter? This message is about restoration. You lost time, lost confidence, lost opportunities, lost relationships, lost peace, or lost strength. There were days when you could barely explain the emptiness you felt. You just knew that something had been taken from you. But God is not only the God of beginnings, He is also the God of restoration. He knows how to return peace to a troubled mind. He knows how to rebuild confidence in a broken heart. He knows how to restore dignity after humiliation, purpose after confusion, and joy after a long season of grief. Restoration does not always mean getting back the exact same thing in the exact same form. Sometimes it means God gives something better, healthier, stronger, and more aligned than what you lost. Sometimes the return is not a copy of the old blessing, but a redeemed version of your future. Audience, what have you been hoping God would restore in your life? For others, this message is about release. There are blessings that cannot enter your life until certain burdens leave it. There are seasons that cannot begin until previous attachments end. Some of you are asking God for new doors while still holding keys to dead places. Some are asking for peace while feeding anxiety. Some are asking for love while refusing to release toxic connections. Some are praying for increase while still living with a scarcity mindset. If your season is changing, it may also mean God is requiring you to let go of what no longer belongs in your next chapter. That could be fear. That could be guilt. That could be an old identity. That could be the need to control everything. That could be a relationship that has been draining your calling rather than supporting it. Audience, what is God asking you to release before you can fully walk into what He is preparing for you? This message also speaks to those who have been overlooked. You were not chosen when others were. You were not celebrated the way others were. You watched doors open for people who seemed less prepared, less faithful, or less sincere than you, and it wounded you in silence. You tried not to compare, but it hurt. You kept wondering if perhaps God had passed over your name. But hear this with assurance: divine timing does not forget. Delay is not abandonment. Hidden does not mean ignored. There are people God keeps concealed for a reason. Some blessings are protected by delay. Some assignments are guarded by silence. Some doors remain closed until your spirit is mature enough to handle what is behind them. So if your moment has felt late, do not assume it has been lost. Heaven has not misplaced your name. Audience, have you ever felt forgotten while watching everyone else seem to move ahead of you? Another meaning within this word is divine vindication. There are people watching who have been misunderstood, falsely judged, underestimated, or quietly dismissed. Others looked at your current condition and assumed that was your full story. They saw your struggle and decided you were weak. They saw your delay and thought you were finished. They saw your wounds and assumed you would never recover. But God specializes in writing endings that human opinions cannot predict. He lifts people others counted out. He restores people others gave up on. He honors people who stayed faithful in private when there was no applause, no recognition, and no visible reward. So if this word is reaching the right heart, congratulations may also mean that your shame is not the final chapter. Your humiliation is not the final image. Your silent faithfulness is about to meet visible evidence. Audience, do you believe God can still honor you in a way that silences every voice that doubted your future? There is also a household meaning in this message. For some, your season changing will affect not only you, but everyone connected to you. When God shifts one person, sometimes a whole family feels the effect. A person who has carried the role of breaker in the spirit often walks through unusual pain because their obedience will open the way for others. If that is you, then understand your struggle may have been heavier because your breakthrough is larger than yourself. The peace you gain may influence your children. The healing you receive may repair generations. The wisdom you learn may protect people who come after you. The courage you show may become the turning point in your family line. Audience, have you ever sensed that your battle was not just about you, but about something bigger God wants to do through you? This message is not telling you to become proud. It is not telling you to boast, compare, or act as though you are above others. True congratulations from heaven should produce humility, not arrogance. Why? Because when God changes a season, it is not merely a reward for talent or effort alone. It is mercy. It is grace. It is divine kindness meeting human weakness. If God brings you into a new season, remember the nights you cried. Remember the prayers you whispered. Remember the moments you almost collapsed. Remember how much you needed His hand to carry you. The right response to a coming blessing is not pride but gratitude. Audience, if God brings you into the season you have been praying for, will you remember the one who carried you through the season that almost broke you? There may be someone watching who feels unworthy of receiving such a message. Maybe you have made mistakes. Maybe you have wandered. Maybe you have doubted. Maybe you have not always responded to God the way you should have. And because of that, you keep assuming that every good word must be for someone holier, stronger, or more deserving than you. But that is not how grace works. God does not wait for flawless people before showing mercy. He meets broken people. He strengthens weary people. He restores wandering people. He calls back distracted people. He revives the person who thought they had gone too far. If every blessing depended on perfect performance, none of us would stand. So if this word stirs something in you, do not push it away because of shame. Let it soften your heart. Let it remind you that God can still begin again with you. Audience, have you been disqualifying yourself to step into a season where things move faster than you are used to? After a long period of waiting, sudden change can feel almost unbelievable. Doors may open quickly. Answers may come unexpectedly. People may contact you at the right time. Opportunities may appear without your striving. Clarity may arrive where confusion once lived. Peace may settle where anxiety once ruled. But when that happens, do not mistake suddenness for accident. What looks sudden on earth is often the result of long preparation in heaven. Just because you could not see what God was arranging does not mean nothing was being arranged. He was aligning people, timing, favor, healing, wisdom, and circumstances. He was preparing you as much as He was preparing the answer. Audience, if God answered faster than you expected after a long wait, would you be ready to receive without doubting the blessing? At the same time, this message carries responsibility. A changed season still requires discernment. Not every open door is from God, and not every emotional excitement is divine confirmation. That is why prayer matters. Wisdom matters. Peace matters. You must learn to ask, Lord, is this you? Is this aligned? Is this the right timing? Is this the path you want me to take? A new season is not simply about more opportunities. It is about the right opportunities. It is not just about movement. It is about meaningful movement. It is not just about increase. It is about increase with peace, character, and clarity. Audience, are you only asking God for change, or are you also asking Him for the wisdom to handle change correctly? For those who have been in spiritual warfare, let this part land deeply in your heart. The battle you survived was not pointless. The tears, the stretching, the loneliness, the unanswered questions, the inner resistance, the exhaustion, the refining, all of it has been shaping your capacity. You are stronger than you were. You are wiser than you were. You are more discerning than you were. You are less impressed by appearances and more hungry for what is real. The old version of you might not have recognized the blessing when it came. The old version of you might have ruined through fear what God was trying to build through faith. But the person you are becoming is more prepared than you realize. Audience, can you see that your hardest season may have been building the strength needed for your next season? Let us speak now to the heart of the viewer in a personal way. If this message feels like it is touching something deep inside you, do not dismiss it too quickly. Sometimes the soul recognizes a word before the mind can explain it. Sometimes tears rise because truth has found the hidden wound. Sometimes your spirit responds because heaven is confirming what you have been sensing in silence. If you feel stirred, pay attention. If you feel convicted, pray. If you feel hope waking up again, do not shut it down because of fear. The God who preserved you in the dark is fully able to lead you in the light. Audience, what are you feeling right now as you hear this? Peace, conviction, hope, resistance, or a sense that this message was meant for you? And finally, beloved, receive this closing encouragement. Congratulations does not mean life will never test you again. It does not mean every challenge disappears instantly. It means something important has changed in your spiritual atmosphere. It means the old season no longer has permanent authority over your future. It means God is bringing you toward a new dimension of peace, growth, maturity, favor, and testimony. It means the crying season is giving way to a rebuilding season. It means the waiting season is making room for a receiving season. It means the hidden season is preparing for a revealing season. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, return to prayer, walk in humility, stay sensitive to God's direction. And when the new season begins to unfold, step into it with gratitude instead of fear. Audience, if God truly is changing your season, what is the first thing you need to do in faith to prepare for it? Let this be the final word over everyone watching. Heaven has not forgotten you. Your prayers were not wasted. Your tears were not unseen. Your delay was not meaningless. The same God who sustained you in weakness can establish you in strength. The same God who kept you through confusion can guide you into clarity. The same God who held you in the valley can raise you in due season. So receive this message with faith and with reverence. Congratulations, your season is about to change. And now I leave your audience with this question. When the thing you prayed for finally begins to happen, will you recognize it, thank God for it, and walk into it with bold faith?